So it's gonna fall back on civil. Civil be gonna fight it out.
I mean,
We have checked it once and then went back, and both times that's where we stopped. That's on the county's part list, what we get paid to maintain, that's where it stops.
even though we don't maintain.
Yep, that's where we stop at. Yep.
After that, it's what they call it, a community road or private,
Yeah.
probably a driveway.
Yeah. There may be an easement through it, but I mean, the county doesn't decide easement.
Well, either way, the road can't be blocked from access to that tour camper. So they wanted to, if anybody wanted to play games, they can't drop something to keep people from going to,
As long as
Because the easement-
long as there's an
because
easement
that's
there.
still a county road.
As long as there's an easement in place,
No, so,
they're not landlocked.
well, they would be landlocked.
If
that road is
they
blocked.
block them, yeah.
Fair enough.
Here you go.
There's only one of these, right? But a total of 12,000 to be paid to them.
There was one, this is the second.
So they're, okay, so
Yeah.
24 total. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. And then if you want to just sign this, I'll write a check for it too.
Oh, he's already. Oh,
You doing good?
all right. This time the regular county commission meeting comes to order.
I love this one.
Certified consent agenda, approval of minutes, payment of bills, and approved payroll.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Harp is
I've never
done.
seen him wear a jacket.
Dixon
Afraid I was gonna melt.
dispatch.
It starts raining.
Oh,
You got your contract with Dixon?
I left it up here.
Say
There's
no.
nothing written in on it.
There's a one page.
The one page. He's got one.
Yeah, we got.
Okay.
So what day you wanna make it effective?
Might as well start on the, May 1st. Might as well start on May 1st just to make it simple.
Okay.
That's not gonna put your dispatch at,
No.
put an undue stress on them and when they're not gonna be able to cover everything.
No.
Every one of them even signed, Andy, or just.
Say what date?
First day of May.
May the 1st.
Yeah. In a 1-year term, May 1st to May 1st.
Yes.
I'm not screwed this one up. This goes May, oh, they're gonna enter it on May 1st. Okay.
Yeah.
Shall be for a period of when beginning on the 1st. Still the same number down here.
Jeff signed those contracts for forever.
I've got it.
That signed by him?
Yeah, I'll take it up there. So.
Okay.
And Dixon's to make their payment before the first day of May.
Yes.
I need to sign this one, see.
I'd say go ahead and sign 3 of them.
Mm,
No place for us to sign.
Yeah,
Agreement between the sheriff's office to provide dispatching for the city of Dixon. Yeah, what line on the budget does that go into for us?
Your dispatchers are paid out of general revenue, so it'll go into general revenue and those funds set aside for dispatch.
You're gonna be a line made.
Isn't that just for nights and weekends or something like that?
Yeah.
You have something, sir?
Yeah, Jack's got something for us. He's got he lives on Ray Hill Ranch,
Okay.
and so he's got some comments to say about that. Come on up, Jack.
What I need is City Dixon to sign those and bring me back.
You want to make a circle? Just make a circle. Drop it off the top, and then you get this. Thank you.
They may need to do it.
I can't remember.
Right.
So you guys know the situation with the road.
What road is it?
It's Ranch Lane was the original name, and it's Ranch Drive to the commission, and it's Ray Hill to the 911 department.
And can you give me your name?
Jack Hilly.
Thank you.
Yep. But my issue with it is, of course, there's a county ordinance that says it should be Ranch Drive. And I understand what you guys are going through with 911 and all that. But my deal is I get mail from Rayville. Rayville has got mail from me. Uh, my wife has a medical condition. She has congestive heart failure and rheumatoid arthritis. She gets Humira shots once a month. And they're $2,000 a shot. We get 4. It's $8,000 a month. They were lost in the mail. So she didn't get a shot for a month. It set her back for 2 months because she couldn't get a shot. So now we're picking them up at the pharmacy. But when she had her problem with her heart, she filed for disability. She's worked her whole life. Never got paperwork back from disability. We're like, what's going on? Finally, our lawyer called and said, why didn't you send the papers back in? We never got them. They were lost in the mail. I've contacted Ashley Reynolds at KY3. She's been documenting things. And I've contacted Brad York to help with this. So there's documentation on everything. And this is my scariest part of the whole deal. Jimmy Bench, I talked with him before he left. He said, what's scary about it, Jack, is if you have an emergency, they're not going to find your house because Rayville and Ray Hill are a mile apart, Andy, 2 miles apart.
Maybe about a mile and a half.
A mile and a half. And here's the deal. She's got congestive heart failure. She could have a major problem at any time. And if that ambulance is a minute late, she dies. With the county ordinance being on the paper, who's to blame for that?
The state statute states, am I right, that the county names the road?
contract with 911 says it too.
And the contract with 911 also says it too. So if they change it, it's on them.
And see, and the reason why, Jack, you and I have had conversations about this, and I mean, I was in on the telephone call with the lawyer from 911. I mean, and he even admitted, that county commission names the roads.
Right.
You know, uh, as a matter of fact, we've done two ordinances. We did an ordinance early. We even signed their paperwork saying we didn't agree with Ray Hill. I mean, we're sitting here in an open meeting, and the sheriff's sitting here, and the time Shauna from emergency management,
Yep.
we're saying Ray Hill, and they said, wait a minute, that's not safe. Rayville's just down the road.
Right.
So we signed their 911 paperwork saying we don't agree with this,
Yep.
send it back. And it wasn't, I don't know, I don't know the exact dates, but it wasn't very much longer after that. We get a letter from them saying this wasn't a request. Get out there and put a sign up.
Huh.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the letter was. We were just telling you guys it was going to be Ray Hill. We don't need your opinion. Get out there and put a sign up.
Right.
And so that's whenever Kevin Hillman got involved. We did an ordinance, sent them an ordinance. They didn't care. And so, we still think it's unsafe to have two names that close together.
Right.
And so that's why we did this agreement with them, where they finally agreed through their attorney, and they all signed off on it. 911 signed off on it. They all signed off on it that the county commission can name the road.
Yep.
So that's the ordinance you posted on Facebook.
Right.
That actually showed that
Yep.
we passed that. We wanted it named. It could be anything other than Ray Hill. We even gave them the opportunity to come up with something else.
Yeah.
But so, we have other places where it's Reading Lane, Reading Drive, other places that are close. So that's why we did Ranch Lane, Ranch Drive.
Right.
It's close. Sent that ordinance. I talked to board members. I said, look, we don't think this is safe. Let's just change it. Let's go on. No. And so that's the situation where we're at. We even voted in a session to sue 911.
Yeah.
But that's out, then Jeff came in later. So, but, I think where, the commission's at, I mean, we've done everything we can do other than just, and you don't want to be suing intergovernmental agencies shouldn't be suing each other. You should be trying to work together.
Right.
But
It don't seem like they wanna work with us.
Right.
there is
They
no,
don't want to work, period.
yeah, and like I said, if you don't like ranch, pick something else.
Right.
You
It wouldn't matter.
it just has to be an R, and it has to be something that's, not similar to something else, but no, I
What
mean,
sign is up there now?
ranch sign is up there
Ranch
now.
Drive.
Mhm.
So when UPS gets to the end of my road, they'll call. We can't find your address.
Because 911, where this all,
They gotta change it in their system.
yeah, well,
Who?
yeah, 911, where this all started, if you go down Ranch and it takes a curve,
Ranch Lane.
it takes,
Yeah.
go down Ranch Lane, it takes a curve. Well, there used to be a powder coating business there on the corner. Well, there's a lady that's bought that, and she's trying to turn it into an assisted living type place where, and so it's added addresses to that road. And so once you get so many addresses to that road, it needs a new road name. And so then
Yeah.
that's whenever they named it Ray Hill.
133.
My house is right here. Ranch Drive turns right here and goes. Well, Commission's Ranch Drive
Yeah.
turns right here and goes back this way.
Is that right there before Crocker on the right?
No, this is
Oh,
back
yeah.
off
On here it says
133.
Ray Hill.
Yeah. And so even knowing our concerns and everything, 911 went ahead and just changed the name to Ray Hill. And then now they're refusing to cooperate with the ordinance that was passed by the commission. And their agreement with the commission, they're refusing to change the name to ranch. So that's where we're
State
at.
statute's been in place for many years, prior to 911, moving up on the hill.
When's the 911 election? The board election?
You got a
That-
point.
When?
November ballot right there.
Next November. That sucks.
So is the ordinance not a law? Brad York looked at it and said, well, that's common sense.
It
You
is
pass
the
it.
law. Ordinance is law.
So how come we can't, the prosecutor has to do his job and enforce that law? Or a judge has to look at that and say, this is a law, we have to pass it. What's the holdup? I don't get it.
Well, enforcement comes in one of two ways. It's not criminal for them not to follow it.
Right.
It's not a criminal law where I can go lock them up in jail or sheriff can go arrest them for it. We can sue them for specific performance under our contract and then declaratory judgment, but I mean, what's the holdup? We can go ahead and file that, which they voted to do. And I had asked that when I came down, I think my first month down here, I said, well, I know you guys had this vote for some reason in open session. Sounds like a closed session legal matter to me, but since you've already been there and have it on your record. That lawsuit, unless they just hold over 6, 9, 12 months. So, I mean, I asked, I said, what's, same question Sheriff did, what's the sign out there now? And because it said, whatever y'all voted
Ranch,
for,
yeah.
I said, well, so what's the issue right now? And you reaching out to me and having this discussion in the morning is the first I've heard that it's still an issue, because I assume with the right road sign out there, they're not down there trying to tear it down like way beyond their authority, destroying county property, which would be a crime the sheriff to do something about if they move that sign.
It's happened once.
Yeah, it happened one
It
time.
happened once.
Are you saying 911 took it down? This is important.
No, sign was removed. We didn't say 911.
That's why I asked the
We
question.
said
You
the
it
sign
happened
was
once.
taken
That's why I
down
asked.
once. We didn't say who.
Thank you. That's what I asked.
Can I say it?
You can say it.
911 took it down.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Visit that in a closed session.
That's the reason I can't say that. I didn't physically see it.
So, with me, it's not just a road name. It's the safety of my wife.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
pretty serious stuff.
Yes, it is.
And this lady that runs 911, she's buddies with Doyle Ray that named it Rayville, which if you look him up, he's a druggie. So she's,
Well, not only with you, but if
I'll tell you,
but if this lady from
that's fine. I'm
but if
fine
this
with it.
lady from Lebanon gets 6 assisted living
Yeah,
people
right,
on
right.
that road too.
Right.
I mean, I don't want anybody to get an ambulance call, but the chances are there's more chances there's going to be an ambulance call to that address.
Any emergency call.
Seconds is gonna
And
count.
if they're down there on Rayville and not on Ray Hill, where they
And we explained this from the very beginning to them, the confusion it was creating.
Yeah.
And that's why we stuck to our guns and kept it what it was.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want this to happen.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, because when the deputies are out there, they're not pulling over to the side of the road to write this information down. They're hearing right, and I mean, depending on what the deputy hears, right? Yeah, hey,
Right.
3:30. This
and
is
they're both on 133 is the problem, and they're both close
Close.
enough together, that they're going to the same.
and a lot of that they're familiar with a lot of the roads, but I mean, some roads they know better, and they hear Ray Hill or Rayville, and it's muffled or whatever.
It's close, but it could have them here when they need to be there.
Yeah.
It,
That 2 or 3 minutes could be alive.
You're going 2 miles past and coming 2 miles back. A lot of time wasted.
Does the 911, the ones who report everything, the USPS and the
Yes.
DCS and the cops and everybody?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything I can do to help? I mean, I called the prosecutor this week and talked with his secretary, and she was in awe that it hadn't been fixed. You know, she's like, well, I thought that was fixed.
And I think you heard from Jeff thinking he thought it would be fixed too with everything that was done. And
Yeah.
so I mean, I think we'll follow his advice to go into a closed session here in a little bit.
Okay.
And discuss it where it needs to be. And
I appreciate you guys' time.
I mean, I know what our decision's going to be,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I think
I have a solution for later down the line.
Okay.
No, I'll talk to you.
They want me to come.
yes.
Yeah.
But that's why I asked you to come in, Jack.
Yeah,
hear from everybody involved.
Right.
You know, that
We've been fighting for you for a while, since the beginning.
Yeah.
since I think it all started in March of last year. You said July, but I was thinking March is whenever we signed the thing back and sent it back to 911.
July's when they sent me, my neighbors, the paper saying they were changing the road. So it didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a little earlier than that.
And we were changing the road.
15 years.
No, that's when.
July of 23
Yeah.
is when,
That's what I was saying, 'cause I thought y'all did ordinance, right?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think shortly after that, I don't know, David, I have to look back to the records, but I think we did an ordinance at some point
I'm serious.
early on.
I've dealt with them the 15 years I've been here.
Yeah.
And it's their way or no way. That's the way it's put out. It's their way or no way.
Right.
Even though the state has it written as a law,
Yeah.
it's still their way or no way.
Who pays their daggone salary?
It's a
We
sales
do.
tax.
They're for the it's our way, which is kind of crazy how they can get by with not doing what the people need them to do and what the people want them to do. It's not so
about the people, it's about one person.
well. I got that, but
Right.
So I think their budget's somewhere around $1.6 million of tax money. Yeah, it's a quarter of a cent.
Well, they were
I'm
gonna
afraid
agree
something will
with
happen
dispatch with
before
Dixon when I was their city attorney, and then after 1 year.
That's the scary part.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
that's why the sheriff's office should be running that place. Just my 1 cent.
Well, we'll have a closed session, Jack,
Okay,
and we'll make a decision. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
We already know what our decision is.
Right.
But like I said, I worked for the juvenile office for 30 years.
Yep.
And I had meetings with all kinds of organizations throughout the state.
Yeah.
And you went into a meeting hoping you could work things out. There was some give and take, and I've never worked with an organization that there is no give and take.
Right.
Zero.
It's just, it has me baffled.
It me also. All right, guys, I appreciate your time.
On the other side, they got 23 and make it left wrong. Hey,
Yeah.
appreciate
Hey, guys, have a blessed day.
You too.
Think about it.
You bet. Good to see you, Rex.
Good to see you, Jack.
Dealt with it for over 15 years.
Yeah, it's time's up.
I'd like to get a copy of their budget.
Do a sunshine request.
Just go up and give them a sunshine request.
Are they required to have open board meetings?
911, yes.
Do you get notice of them, Daryl?
If you want to call it notice. I'm going to be straight with you, and this is something that I've said.
You're live.
You're on record.
I know, I'm being clear about this. I can play nice or I can be honest. You would not get away with sending out an agenda on the afternoon of the previous month's meeting that says the agenda is basically director report, new business with nothing listed, old business with nothing listed, and then allowance for a closed session with no identification of what it's for. That's what they do. Their agenda is sent out on the afternoon of their meeting for the following month and contains nothing about what actually is going to be discussed. I've chosen not to push the issue too terribly hard, largely because nobody's been complaining. It sounds to me like there's a complaint. But if you want to get on their agenda list, you'll get an agenda, you'll find out the date and time of your meeting, you won't have any idea what they're going to be talking about.
Do they broadcast it?
I'm sorry,
Do they broadcast it?
broadcast?
Maybe.
No,
Nobody does.
no,
You're the only one who does this.
no.
Guess I might have to get in the game.
If you do that, you're taking on Ty Smith, and you probably don't want to.
You're fine. Go ahead and take it on.
There's a lot that
You can do it.
you don't want that fight. Tice has really strong opinions against
I
it.
think
You can't stop it.
There's a lot it can do to restrict it. I know
Not
the
an open
rules.
meeting.
No, I know the rules.
Not an open meeting.
Here's whenever
This is a taxpayer-funded organization.
Look, I'm not defending the 911 board. The law gives governmental agencies the right to restrict auxiliary lighting, the right to prevent you from having tapes on your table, the right to tell you the camera has to be at locations that are non-disruptive. Your former county treasurer here, Sue Rapone, when a previous person tried to do what you did, came in and made some very, very, very strong statements that I chose not to do anything with, but legally Sue was absolutely right. Sue's position, and you remember that, Gene, you were here. Sue's position was that he should be told that he has to sit in the audience, sit in the back, and if people stand in front of him, that's nobody's fault, nobody's problem. There are things you can do significantly restricting TV and radio broadcast you can't do to print. I'm not saying that's good. I'm saying that's what the law says. Taking on Tice, he'll find a way to use the law to make things very
Honest and
difficult.
open's the best way.
I'm not, you haven't heard me complain about what he's doing. I'm encouraging. You didn't hear me complain about what the previous person did. I encouraged him. But I know you take on Tice, you're asking for a fight you don't want.
Do it all the time.
You do what you choose.
You're gonna have it soon anyway.
There's always the next election. Problem is something that happens between now and then. Sure, you're right. It's like
That's the problem with this gentleman right here, because something's gonna happen before then.
very good point.
It's his wife at risk.
You're right. It's a very good point. It's not me. Don't worry about that.
That's Tice.
Well, I guess we got a lawyer running the county then. Why don't he come down here, Commissioner?
It's not me, is it?
No, no.
No.
I've done city out once. He was with the health department for a long time. Anyway,
Back to the 1960s and 70s around here, huh?
Well, if you really want to talk about 60s and 70s, ask why the 911 board exists,
Daryl.
why the sheriff's department doesn't control it. One of your predecessors is responsible for the situation that the county's dealing with now. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but there's reasons the 911 board existed to clean up a problem, and now an argument to be made that the solution created a new problem.
Not gonna touch that one.
The last time two county entities sued each other was also over a 911 service matter.
Yep. There's one of the heartaches right there. That was by your former sheriff. $40,000 mistake.
Gene, a question you haven't asked that's going to come up later. The 911 board used to meet on Fridays. They changed their meeting to conflict with the county commission. They normally meet on the second Thursday of every month. I'm not telling you they changed their meeting to conflict with the county commission, so I wouldn't attend, but that's a pretty good guess.
What time?
8:30 a.m. Unless they change it, which has happened.
They're gonna change
They
it
send
now.
you notice of their meeting?
Theoretic, that's what we're.
No, they send the meeting out a month in advance with nothing on it.
It's an agenda that
Blank.
consists of director's report, new business unspecified, old business unspecified.
Send a month old
closed
blank
session
check out
unspecified.
there.
And they send it on the afternoon of the previous month's meeting. You
So
know.
one
the
of these
problem with
guys
that.
need to go to our meeting, one of this meeting.
Mhm.
It'd be easier for them. I don't know who they report that to. Because if they're just gonna report it back to him.
See? One of you needs to go to that meeting and the other one's come to this.
I can't go. I might get tomatoed.
See? You're like me. You're just voiceful. You don't care about a camera. You just
Well-
tell it the way you feel.
You're like Rex.
Well, he told you on the bus.
Yeah. It's all right.
I ain't throwing him under the bus.
He's using, diplomacy, right?
Thank you.
Well, okay, we call it the way we see it. That's the way it's supposed to be. Too quiet.
I'll wake him up.
Dave's deep over there in something.
He's reading. He's deep into reading. Huh?
Me? No, Dave. Oh,
Well, if we're done with that on 911 thing, I just got some general questions. Our app is looking very good. We've had all the emails or everything that happens in the app. We're going to forward to Dave, so Dave can then forward them to us.
What?
No, the emergency.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing. For the emergency app, we have a form. We're going to have a form in there where people can fill out if there's damage after storms or anything like that. Right now, we flow it through Hector as the emergency manager, so he can track that. Do you also want to be on that to it? It won't be separated east or west, but still, just so
Someone can
you're
report a tree on the road.
tree in a row. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be for a storm or anything,
yeah.
but
Is it email or is it a text?
it's going to be an email.
Yeah, we need to be on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I can get your emails.
Yeah, we'll just do the Pulaski County
Yeah.
RB Road and Bridge.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll both.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on Gmail. So
Okay.
Does it have a GIS interface where it's like map? Show you what.
It's on that portion.
well, I mean, if they just list the road, I mean,
They can list the road. They can add pictures. They can take
Yeah.
pictures and add it.
I figured, you know, how you can plug in the Google Maps.
your phone will automatically do that.
Yeah.
If you add in the address, the phone will automatically.
Yeah. Because when people tell me, oh, I just click on it, it takes me right to it.
Yeah.
Not sure the map for you guys in the office.
See, they'll pick road. They'll pick one of the three options, and then I can add more if because the power outages will have to go to Gascasage and Laclede, but it'll automatically filter all that out. So you're just getting what pertains to the damage. But it gives the address, the name. I mean, those are all required placeholders. So, and they can add an image and then submit. So it's going to be a pretty good tool. Have all the schools listed with the SROs, and they can submit a tip through that ad app as well directly to the SRO. So it's,
In the Hector ad and note on the bottom is notifications to invite people to use your app and notify you of any damage. We get notifications on the hyper alert. They put it on there. Notify them.
I don't know what he can do with that.
You
We-
can on his Facebook.
Monday while I was here, I went to the doctor.
This is like a circle closes.
I ain't very more than 40.
Yeah, it's, you can
Laid
add
on the flat on the
a,
board.
on the bottom down there, you can add,
Yeah,
we'll link it to ours, because once everything's rolling, we'll
What the
put out
hell?
a publication.
Right.
Actually, the sheriff already put out part of it, and then it'll have a QR code next to
Walking with
it,
a
and then he can
cane,
put out the
got a
QR code to report your damage. You can
There
use
goes the stock.
the sheriff's office app
I said,
and go that way.
flip a disc in there or something, them trying to get you up and down. Could have. I don't know.
Do you need to get back upstairs, Jeff?
Just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it.
Okay, ready for a closed session?
No, just go ahead and do it.
Do it. Oh, what it said.
Yeah.
Well, I had something else.
Okay. Do you need anything, Daniel?
I'll just come and check on the weather to see what everybody's.
Weather.
I'm hearing all kinds of stuff.
The storm's brewing
Floods,
today.
floods is what we're gonna get.
Are we?
7 to 10 inches of rain down south.
Oh, yeah.
They lowered the amount down south, thank God. It was
What are
up
we
to
supposed to
almost
get here?
14 inches, but now they've lowered it to 7
We're
to
supposed
12.
to get 2 to 3 here.
They lowered everything. Thank
So,
goodness.
so depending on what down south.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the key.
If it goes on past Houston, we'll be okay, but if it's in the Seymour, Houston, Hartville, down in there, then Gasconade will get back up, and Piney will get back up, and Ruby Doo will get back up, and
So you need a closed.
FEMA's gonna lapse over into Canaan.
we haven't even got FEMA paperwork done from the last flood.
Right. You gotta vote on the Dixon contract.
Yes.
I got it right here. Do you need this thing?
No.
All right, this means being closed. Missouri law, chapter 610021 to include 2 legal.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Get out.
It's almost, I think in a couple weeks, it's dispatcher appreciation.
Am I correct that this is going to begin immediately, and did I understand correctly, essentially going to be a night weekend issue?
May 1st is when we're looking.
Maybe.
And then, yes, night and weekend.
Thank you, sir. 6:30 PM at your training room tonight, correct?
Yes, 6:30 tonight.
And you can.
Thank you, you too.
We get some robots.
Oh, Mac.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy, but it's all the time. I've been, so, it's a 150 years old. And that's and then just yeah, so do. Yeah, I did too. Very well. Is it good for you?
Daryl, did you ever find out what the ambulance was at the Dixon school yesterday? I seen where several people had asked about what was going on. I didn't know if anybody had ever.
I do not have an answer.
Yeah, I don't either.
Now, the Dixon Ambulance District usually has been quite cooperative. They have a director who looks for ways to answer questions. And if there's something in doubt, unlike a lot of medical personnel, he will not plead HIPAA on every instance. So the answer probably is just a matter of getting a phone call to Ethan, and that's my fault. Now, virtually all of these calls to schools are something that either again is a student issue that can't be released because it's juvenile, or you're dealing with something that really is nothing. I frankly have not followed up. If it were the Waynesville School District, what they routinely do is to send out an announcement saying an ambulance was called. Any future treatment is going to be the decision of parents, which is a way they can say, yes, an ambulance was there, and no one will tell you anything about it.
Yeah.
Dixon doesn't do that. Honestly, nobody except Waynesville does. But in this case, yeah, Ethan, I think I can probably get better information.
Good enough.
Now, what Ethan will probably do is tell me, Daryl, this is what happened. This is all off the record except for this sentence. Now, here's what happened. So you can shut down rumors that if you hear that somebody did X, Y, Z, you could say, I know that's not true. Jerry Carmick did the same thing, but current staff at PCAD. I'm not going to blame them. They're doing what usually happens, but they use him as an excuse instead of trying to find ways to do things legally. They find ways not to do this.
Y'all planning on doing anything with them jail beds?
I said, I know of.
There's employees asking for them. I'm interested in them as well. Like for storage and garage and stuff. And they can get them home out of here by the end of the week.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't have any loose one. I don't know.
You think for storage over at your building,
Make
Building.
it
They're
available.
heavy, they're
do-
strong.
Do it. You know,
strong ain't the word.
individual may get one, and then if there's, after everybody's had an opportunity, then.
Yeah.
Then
They're fine with
then they
that.
get a second
That'll work.
go around.
Yeah, they gotta remove them and
They got, okay.
they gotta haul.
Start out, one until everybody who wants something gets them.
It's a- okay.
And then after that, it's just,
Cause they're heavy.
Okay. Yeah, I lifted one and checked it out.
can we make it contingent that if they take one of those bunk beds, they gotta take some of the mattresses?
Yes, and one toilet.
And the toilet, no. All right, y'all let them know. Y'all need anything from me today?
No, I'll bug you next week for the sales tax stuff.
We should hopefully have it by then.
That'll be them doors you can sell for scrap, make a fortune.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They weigh.
This is our conservation rock grant.
What?
Don't know if it needs to be on the agenda or sign it so we can
Probably
get it
should,
started.
but-
We can put it on Monday.
Or Thursday. We're not here
Oh,
Monday.
that's right, Thursday. Well, that's that. Let's put it up here, just leave it down here. You can get lost. You do it myself. Good. I was gonna look something up.
About all the known business that happened today.
Yes.
I don't think
That's
so.
about it.